Okay, so I attended a school board meeting for Lancaster School District last Tuesday. Um, and I came to the end of the meeting at the end of the closed portion of the meeting. Um, so I guess the closed session was, happened, and I guess that's how they start their meetings. The meeting began with a pledge. They had made everybody in the community stand up to say the Pledge of Allegiance, which shouldn't have been surprising to me, but it was. Like because of like the formality of it. But I guess it shouldn't have. Yeah, like I said, it shouldn't have been surprising. But and then one of the district's elementary songs performed a song for the board, and then the meeting began by highlighting all the good things that were brought to the board's attention. Um, So they began the meeting by talking about anybody who had been nominated, employee recognition, any schools that had won any awards for sports or any other recognitions. So it began as like a really positive atmosphere. Excuse me, I'm sick, so I might not sound as sick as I think I sound, but I'm pretty sick right now. I so anyway, I apologize for that. Um, And so the underlying beliefs that I had was just that I noticed was just somewhat an underlying attitude of positivity and celebrating the positive things. And then there was a lot of formal language that was used. When somebody wanted to address the board, they got up and they said, "Hey, you know, I would like to address the board." Um, blah 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 blah. Um, Anyway, so one award that was given by the superintendent was in particular to an employee who ran a drive to collect coats for students who needed coats. Um, and that was somewhat emotional. And then this employee got recognized. Several people at my school were also recognized for what the district said is going above and beyond their duties. One of the teachers at my site, I guess, had befriended some children in need at a neighboring school and was mentoring them to get ready for junior high. She was recognized for that. Um, there was, and then the real meat of the meeting started. So the first thing that was on the agenda that I was able to observe was the Citizens Oversight Committee term completion. So there was I didn't quite understand what this was about, but Dr. Suarez Coronado, I guess, was the head of a committee, and he stated that he was a watchdog for several districts in the area, and that he was watching to make sure that the fiduciary expenditures were being done appropriately with the school district. And he said that in his explorations that he was happy to account that he had found no problems with any financing purchases or payouts or and like with Lancaster School District. He stated that there was accounting procedures were appropriate, and he stated that the board members don't take salary that isn't earned or not approved. Um, and he stated that he had done research for over 6 years for the district. So I feel that that was really positive. Um, and I didn't notice any um, drama or anything associated with this. The next thing that was on the agenda was presented by one of the district board members was about the facilities improvement updates. And he reported that district projects like the gym for a junior high school and an education complex and were all things that were moving forward and continuing, to be built. And I didn't really think um, and there was no drama with that one. He just, presented his PowerPoint to the board and then said, yeah, these are moving forward, and that was it. Um, then there was the director of fiscal services. Next, she came up and she started talking about the accounting system. And this is the one where I did start to notice there was a little bit of drama. Um, she stated that the accounting systems that the district currently has in place aren't talking to each other. So, like, we have our Chronos where we log in our hours, and then we have another way that payroll is done, and then we have another payroll that's done, and then we have substitute reporting for when teachers are absent, and all of these things are done in different apps, but none of these systems are talking to each other, and it's creating a lot of paperwork. Um, and she was suggesting trying to find a way to get the systems to talk to each other to limit inaccuracies as well as to save money, but the undercurrent of that was also going to create possibly less jobs in the district area. So I thought that was also noted. um, and then another thing that the superintendent started talking about was um, that there were funds that needed to be happening to fix the pavement around all of the different schools. I guess like right now they're just kind of putting band-aids on all the pavement areas where the parking structures, but what's happening is that it's cracking in lots of areas, and it could potentially create some safety hazards. So to do like a band-aid fix on each of the schools, it's like $30,000 for the district to output for just like the band-aid solution that will last maybe 10 years. To do like a real solution, it's going to cost like $100,000 for the school. So they were talking about like what was best, and and they didn't really come to a conclusion. They just said it was something that the board needed to consider. Um, and the superintendent, she stated that the facilities plans to, like, they're trying to revise the plans to maintain the facilities, and she stated that the goal was to present that revised plan by May. Um, and she said the goal with that was to evaluate different projects and prioritize them. So one of the things that I learned about this process was that it was interesting to see how the community is allowed to be involved in those meetings, but it was also surprising how little attendance there was at those meetings. So this is the fourth board meeting that I have attended um, within my school district, and it's like I said, it's held in a small room that only holds about 50 people, but the district encompasses like 10,000 or more students, and then that's not including their families. And so it just kind of made me more aware that we have, as parents, because I have kids that attend, the school districts in the area, that we have the ability to go and impact, that we have a say in what goes on here. Um, I don't really have any unanswered questions about the process. I think I would like to know the district process on how they create their agenda, and um, what delegates, like what goes on in a closed meeting versus, the open forum meeting for the community. Um, yeah, but that's it. Anyway, so that's the end of my journal. I hope this is good for this time. Anyway, that's it. Logging off. I'm gonna go drink something.